What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're gonna talk about the Google Pixel Fold. Everything we know about this phone, there's been tons of leaks and rumors that have come out from like a year or two ago, from a couple of months ago, weeks ago, and even days and hours ago as well. So we're gonna talk about everything that we know about the Google Pixel Fold. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So first question is probably gonna be, what does it look like if you haven't seen anything? Well, this is what it's rumored to look like. So if you compare this to something like a Galaxy Z Fold 4, you might notice that the outside display looks shorter and fatter, or shorter and wider. And then the inside display, again, would be a little bit shorter and wider as well. It would look something more akin to this phone right here, which you can't get in America unless you import it. And this is the Oppo Find N2, which has that smaller, shorter, fatter display. When you open it up, it has this slightly larger, wider display than maybe a Fold 4. It's definitely a different form factor overall. Might be something you love or don't love. For me, it did take a little bit of getting used to something like this versus a Galaxy Z Fold 4, which I have as my main phone currently at the time of this video. You see there's my Z Fold 4, and then you get this different, this is the thing, one of the things I don't like about this phone is the taller outside display. But yeah, that's rumored to be what it's going to look like. What about when it's going to be released? Let's talk about that. So that would be, the launch date would be May of 2023. So literally at the time of making this video, like a month and a half away, and it would be announced at Google I/O. Google I/O is a developer conference that Google has every single year, mostly talking about software. Sometimes they talk about some new hardware products that they have coming out, and the Pixel Fold and the Pixel 7a should be those two products that they announce at that event. And then the actual release date, you're probably looking at most likely June of 2023. As for exactly when those dates will be, the I/O event will probably be sometime in the first 10 days or so of May, and then the actual release date will probably be again in the first 10 days or so of June. I don't have exact specifics for you, but that's when you can most likely expect release dates and launch dates for that phone. What about the display sizes? So on the inside display of the Google Pixel Fold, you're looking at something that's going to be about 5.78 inches on the smaller display. And then on the bigger display, you're looking at something more akin to, the battery's dying on this, something more akin to 7.57 inches. So definitely good sized displays on the inside, a little bit smaller on the outside. But when you factor in that it's going to be a little bit easier to hold, but you can consume and view information better on this, then that's going to be a big win overall for the Pixel lineup. I'm very excited about the size of it, just because it's a little bit different than the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Next would be the brightness on the display. So the brightness, I don't know if this is going to be it's the inside and the outside, or either or, but ultimately 1200 nits of brightness. Now that's not the most bright display you can get on a phone from anybody. You know, Samsung phones, especially on the S23 Ultra, you can get 1750 nits of brightness. On something like a iPhone, you can get basically about 2000 nits of brightness. There's some Android phones coming out from Chinese manufacturers, I think they get like 2500 nits of brightness. So 1200 nits of brightness is definitely going to be bright enough to view outdoors and to view and use it. Again, it won't be the ultimate brightness, but that's probably one of the places that they're trying to maybe cut corners, give it better battery life, and reduce the cost of the overall phone. Next up, we talk about the cameras on top of the display. Are they going to be under the display or on top of it? Well, they will be on top of it, more like the old Z Fold phones and like this phone. So you see the camera in the top and the middle, and then you also get a camera in the top left of the phone. I would guess that the Pixel phone's probably going to be more like right here or over to the right. I don't think it'll be dead on in the center, so that would be a good thing on there. But yeah, expect the cameras to be on top of the display, which is really good to me because I hate the underneath display, under panel camera on the Z Fold 4. It's just not very good in general. I'd rather have better quality than aesthetically pleasing to the eye in terms of the way it looks and not seeing it. What about the storage? So on the Pixel Fold, you should get 256 gigabyte across the board, have it be in the colors of white or black, and those colors will be named as carbon and porcelain. So you can get it in 256 in black or white. If you want it in black, aka carbon, you're gonna have to get it at 512 gigabyte, which not a big deal to me, but it is something to know. 12 gigabytes of RAM, no matter which phone you get, have it be the 256 or 512. And that's, again, something that's not that, you would expect that because the Pro line of the 6 Pro and the 7 Pro had 12 gigs of RAM, so they'll carry over that 12 gigs of RAM to the Pixel Fold. What about the processor inside? You're looking most likely at a Tensor G2 processor, the same processor that sits inside of the Pixel 7 Pro and the Pixel 7. It might even be a little bit more juiced up, a little bit more powerful. It might get a slightly better benchmark than a Pixel 7 Pro due to it being more heat dispersion on their bigger body of a phone. So it might even be a plus version. We don't fully know, but at least a Tensor G2 performance, which isn't the best on the market. I'm not saying it is, but it's enough to get really good performance like you can on a general Pixel phone, like a Pixel 7 and a 6. They run beautifully buttery smooth, and they do gaming fine as well, you know, for the games that you're playing. So what do you expect on terms of cameras? I expect, and what we've heard is Pixel 7 Pro type cameras on the front and the back of this phone. So you should get 30x zoom, you should get Magic Eraser, you should get good quality photos in portrait and regular mode with all the processing behind it that takes place with that Tensor processor and just the Google Pixel camera in general. So if you love the Pixel 7 Pro cameras, expect very, very similar results. Next would be the battery. Expect a 4,700 milliamp battery, which is bigger than a Galaxy Z Fold 4, but it's not gonna be most likely a 5,000 milliamp. It'll probably be about 4,700 milliamps or slightly larger, but don't expect 5,000, probably around 4,700 milliamps. The outside display should get face unlock, and what they mean by that is the smaller display like you do right here, that camera should have, or next to it, should have some kind of face unlock feature built in there so you can unlock your phone with your face on that front display. That's nice to have on there. The Pixel 7 and 7 Pro have face unlock, so it's nice to see on there. Heavier than the Galaxy Z Fold 4. If you think the Z Fold 4 is going to be heavy, expect a little bit heavier with the Pixel Fold because of the bigger battery and because of a slightly different form factor in general as well. How much heavier? Probably like not that much more. When I say heavier, I'm talking about ounces, so don't get crazy and think it's going to be absolutely too much for you to carry. Price-wise, you're looking at $1,300 to $1,500 total for the Galaxy or the Pixel Fold phone, which is literally $300 to $500 cheaper than the base Galaxy Z Fold 4. Z Fold 4 without any trade-ins comes in at about $17.99. So to get a Pixel Fold for as little as $12.99 is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. I hope that rings true and comes out because that's the rumored prices currently right now. At launch, expect at least 150,000 units worldwide, which worldwide, when I say that, this phone will not come out worldwide, unfortunately. It will be a phone that is only released in certain parts of the world. You can expect America, you can expect most likely Canada, parts of Europe, Japan, places like that. Don't expect it in India or some other parts as well. Australia will probably get it as well, but just keep your eyes peeled. It shouldn't come out everywhere, but it will come out in certain areas of the world. Pixel Notepad was the original name of this phone in terms of the code name. So when I think Pixel Notepad, I think pen. I haven't heard anything lately about having a pen, but when you call it a notepad, you think pen. So don't be surprised if there's some kind of pen support. The pen, if there is pen support, it's not gonna fit inside the phone. It's gonna be housed on the back of the phone with a case or something like that. It'll also probably be something you have to pay for that's extra, so keep that in mind as well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, should have a similar look to the Oppo Find N2 in general. So that's what we know basically so far about the Pixel Fold. It's a phone that is going to put pressure on Samsung. And this is gonna be good because this is gonna make Samsung up their game more. It's gonna make them lower their price, but it's also going to make them want to make a better phone than Pixel in general. So I look forward to the competition for both brands, and I'm very much looking forward to potentially making the Pixel Fold my main device and getting away from the Z Fold 4, because I love the cameras on the Pixel Fold and I love trying new devices as well. And that's one of the things that's keeping me from going to the Pixel 7 Pro as my main phone, is it's because it's not a folding phone. And I love those big displayed foldable phones. They're really fun and cool. The other thing I wanted to mention, I just thought of it, is the fingerprint sensor. Fingerprint sensor will be on the side of the power button. So it's gonna be a power button and a fingerprint sensor all in one on that Pixel Fold, like the Z Fold 4 and like this Oppo Find N2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.